and welcome to my channel. This is Lani with Broken Seashell Stamping, and today I'm participating in the Stamp Around the World video hop. So join me today for our theme of the month for January, which is stamping. So please come along with me, and once you're finished with mine, please click the link below for the other wonderful ladies and the projects that they've worked on for this time. You can access it on my description by clicking the more. The set I'm going to be using today is the Gears and Textures, and I picked this color scheme. I don't have gray granite, so that's what you could use here in replacement for Pebbled Path, but I just have some neutrals. I'm using Basic Beige, Secret Sea, Pebbled Path, and Pecan Pie. Today, for my stamping, I'm going to do a little recycle project. So what I like to do is, this is my UPS label, I just kind of colored it up, but I don't like I like to use everything, and so when I'm at work, what I do is I print these shipping labels out, and I just take my nails and make a crease on it, and then I rip the page in half just like that, and this obviously goes in an envelope to ship out. And then what I do is I keep these half sheets of paper to make notes. However, I'm a stamper and I like to make fun notes, so what I'm going to do today is bring in some of the scratch paper and make a little notebook for taking messages either at your home or at work, and then this way you're reusing stuff that would have otherwise been tossed. And I wanted to do kind of a masculine theme, and I also just got this stamp set, and I'm really excited to play with it because I love gears and anything kind of grungy and steampunk, all that fun stuff. So this is what I'm going to play with today, and we're just going to do some stamping and put it together for a notebook. All right, let's give it a whirl. So another thing I want to do today is kind of pre-stamp. I've seen other people do this too, because this is the new setup for the stamp sets, and it doesn't really have a placement to where you can kind of put those back to where they were on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just use one of these scratch papers or notepad paper that we're going to be making today to use for my stamps, just to get them organized the way like that so I don't lose them and I know where their placement is at. So what I like to do is get my eraser. Now I got a little bit of stuff piled on it over here, but I have my giant eraser that what I'm going to do is take away some of the tackiness. So I'm just going to rub this along the whole stamp set just to kind of help the impression, and that's my little trick for that. Let's go ahead and use the Secret Sea and get these stamps all nice and used. Let's go ahead and do this. Ooh, look how pretty that is. Look at all that texture and grunge. All right. This side. This up in the corner, and we're just gonna stamp it down. So this is another, I moved that a little bit, but that's gonna be okay. It's another way of utilizing scratch papers that you can have at work or what you're not using. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all these. Let's do it this way. I love the chamois. I'll probably pre-treat my stamps again before I use them today. But now I have my little template here to put back in here so I know where all my stamps are at. Let's see, I'm going to have to trim it down some. Like it just fits. So that is just a half a sheet. I hadn't gotten a chance to do this to any of them yet, but I was planning on it. So Just slide that in there. And now I know which stamps are in there on the front and the back. Go ahead and set this aside. This is in the, I believe this is in the winter or the spring mini that just got released a couple days ago. And excuse me, what you call it? Yeah, I don't think it's an online exclusive. I think it's just a mini catalog. So I'm going to start with this little cog here. I get a couple of them ready. So there's one cog. Here's some wonderful dottage. And I like this coffee stain one looking too. This one here. So I'll start with those 3 stamps. Now this notebook is going to be to the side. The other reason I like it is because I ripped this instead of cut it. When you're grabbing this, you don't get paper cuts as bad. So but we're just going to stamp around because we want to obviously make sure there's places to write notes. And I can't show you an example because I can't, it's got personal information in it, but I use these at work all the time. Let's see, you know, let's do the gear first. I'm going to use the Pebbled Path. So if you don't have Pebbled Path, please get out gray granite, and that will also work just fine. So I'm going to do the first here just as as an example, and then I'll do some speeding up for the rest of them. So we are going to use both sides, and because this is regular paper and not cardstock, I'm just going to put my gears right over top the other ones, because this is just for notes, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And we're okay with a little grund. See, like offset it. You know, let me offset it even more on that one. And then both sides kind of will have that. So there's the gears. So when you fold this in half, we've got some neat designs on our paper. So I am going to set that aside. No, I'm not going to set it aside. I'm going to do gears on all pages. So this, well, how many we were going to make here? Let's do a good 6 pages. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, you know, I decided now let's just do all the gears right now before we have to clean the stamp. So I'm going to speed this part up for the rest of the gears. So I folded the last page that I was stamping because this is going to be our cover. So I want to decorate that and show you what we're going to do for that. Now I'm cleaning off my cog. I got all those done that I think I'm going to use. I might need more, so we'll just keep it on the block. So if you have a stamp set that you want to use, you can do that. Anything with big text, you can write down on there, but this is just stamping. We're just going to do something kind of fun. So I'm going to write notes on here just to have it done. So let's just do... There we go. Of course, I should have just done block because... whatever. I'm going to use this for myself because I like cogs. And if you saw, I got a little mark right here. So I'll make sure that's covered. All right, I think I'm done with the gray for now. Let's go with the, let's try the pecan pie for the coffee stain one. I'll make sure I'm just rubbing this on my eraser. All right, let's see how this, let's test it out on one of the inside pieces. Let's see, let's stamp it there. A little dark, but it's all okay. Now remember, I want to kind of just stay around the edges and stamp there instead of in the middle, because you want to be able to take notes. So I'm just going to put these here. Probably stamp off. It's not too bad either. All right, so here, let's do one up there. Making a nice fun mess on my board. Now the front cover, we're going to stamp on all parts of it, not just the edges, because this is our cover. I'll just put those there. Right, there's the grunge part for the cover. And now let's do the rest of these. If you want to stamp off, you can. And that doesn't matter, the date thing, because we're just doing what we're going to do. So let's speed this one up and finish the coffee stain. All right, there are the rest of the coffee stain looking ones. Of course, my mat is getting really inked on, and so some of these I'm going to just take a tissue and make sure it's not hanging around, because you never know. Now that I've got that, clean off the coffee. I don't think it really is coffee stain, but it kind of looks like it could be. We're probably going to be done with that one because it's a pretty big stamp. So we'll put that aside. Now this is where this will come in handy. So like this here. I probably need to reverse that. There we go. I really like the little chain length and this part right here. Let's use that one. Get that ready for next. There's so many fun stamps on here to use. I might even get more colors out. All right, we've done the pecan pie. Now I'm gonna do this sandy looking one with the basic beige. And we're gonna stamp some of our grunge. Take it on my eraser. Let's test her out. Oh yeah. That's looking good. So that's my cover. Just stamping all over the place, wherever you want to. And we got the inside. Those ones are perfect for going through. We probably only need to stamp on one side. I have this one's a little out of my comfort zone for this type of stamping because I usually use flowers for this stuff. And this is a little different. So there's those few pages. Now I'm gonna speed it up and do the rest. Okay, there we have our pages with those. Oh, I inked that up. Let's do one more. Let's do it right there. I don't like to waste my ink if I don't have to. So, oh yeah, we might use that one again. Let's leave it on there. All right. Next is this little strip here. I think I'm gonna do that one in Secret Sea. Now with Secret Sea, it's really dark, so it's really going to go across everything. So I'm not going to put it across the notes part here. I'm just going to, and I won't be using this one quite as much because it's going to be so dark. But it's going to be fun to really add some dark color in here. Right. Clean that up. All right, so let's use some edging on here. Let's set that this way here. I think I got it a little crooked. So you kind of have to let it relax a little, which is why, and then you stamp the stamp. That looks a little straighter. Okay. Nice and inked up, and let's go right. I haven't checked to see if you can see. Hopefully you can see that. All right, there's that one. And I'm gonna off stamp the second one. And let's do one up here. Offset the top. All right, almost looks like a photo reel. Let's just put a little tiny one down here. All right. Now the back. All right, and this is getting nice and inked up with all this stamping. Cover is probably not one you're going to want to use, but I've got a solution for that. Don't go anywhere. All right. So, oh, I don't know why I cleaned that off. I'm going to use it for the other one. So that was our cover page. Now I'm just going to do one on each, just on the edges here. Let's see how that looks on the other side. Not bad. So I'm going to try to go right over top where that one is at. And that's the nice thing about these photopolymer. You can see where your stamp is at. All right, front and back. So let's speed it up and finish the rest of these. Okay, so my battery started running out and I hit pause the video, so I lost a little bit of information, but not too much. So I'm going to do the little screw in the corner for this. So we're going to need your gray. So I've got my pebbled path out. Now the cog was done in this one, so I want to make them a little separate. But these are just little screws, little Phillips. I'll put those right in the corner. Like the person was not being very organized when they decided to put these in there. All right, there. They're so cool. I really love those. Let's put them on the back here. All right, so now we're going to add some of the little screws. So let's go on the first page here, and I'll just do some around. This person definitely didn't know what they were doing when they were putting stuff together, because they've either got cogs and screws in the wrong places, or they've dropped them all over their table and they're everywhere. Either way, it's just fun to stamp. I find this so relaxing. So on to fast forward the rest of the pages. All right, now I've gotten that done. I think my camera keeps getting too far away, so I apologize if some of that was too low. So as I said here with our note page, because of the ink, it's a little bit more thicker in here and we can't really write notes. So we're going to make a little tiny binding kind of inside. So what I'm doing I move the other pages away. Oh, I can't really see that because of all my scratch paper. Let's put this here. There we go. So I'm just gonna, this is just a easy project. It's not something we want to do a lot of, I'm not measuring. So I'm just gonna take this over here, see where the edge of it is at, and go ahead and rip some more. Part of the ripping process does show work with the grunge. So there's one part there, and just a little shorter just to give it a frame. Now you could of course use scissors if you'd like, but I like to tear it. And this is a little difficult because it's smaller. I can get my ruler out. Let's do that. Bit of the grunge in here, just right in the corners. There we go. Now to the other side with the rest of the paper. Let's sit sideways here. You could also, well, I'll show you. If you want to grunge up the edges of this little fix here, you can. Just getting the blender brush out. If it has any extra on there, I just huff on it, and it kind of keeps the old, whatever I used last. It gives it a little tiny bit of edge. I'm not sure if you could see that, but it's just enough. Oh, I didn't rip the bottom part. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm not even gonna fold this one. Let's just rip it. There we go. Those pieces. Go. Now that we've got all of our stamping done, you could keep stamping if you want. There's no one that says you have to stop, but you are going to eventually run out of areas to write your notes on. So we actually used 7 pages today for our little notebook for our stamping. All right. Now that we've got that, let's get to the adhering. You're just going to need a stapler and get all your pages the right. I'm going to make sure that the torn edge is on the top. And torn edge. Okay, I'm going to put these all together and fold it in half. And the way I get these in here, I kind of fold it in a little bit. You want to put the stapler on the outside so it doesn't have, so you have your insides are the curled part, and you're just gonna, I don't know if you can see it, you know, line up on the edge and right there, one staple, and then come down a little bit farther. There we go. Look at that, I lined it up perfectly. I made a lot of these. That's like, I take a lot of notes. All right. Okay, now we have our little notebook. Move this aside. So I've got a thick piece right here for some extra notes, and then now we've got each page with your decorated edges to write your notes. You could use this for a little mini journal if you wanted to. If you have some line stamps, you can stamp those in there. But as you can see, now that everything's dried, it's not really too bad to see through, and you've got plenty of little pages to make your notes. So how about I put my first note in here. Let's get that pen out. Let's do buy more stamps. That's our to-do list. Let's go ahead and date this 1/7/26 so I know what it is. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to give some love to the other ladies who are doing some stamping projects today. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the month. And we'll see you again next time for the Stamp Around the World. Again, this is Lani, Broken Seashell Stampin'. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.